Hello storytellers, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Lauren. I'm an actress, teacher and all-round storyteller. I visit theme parks, Disney, Harry Potter, Universal, but I also do a lot of travel now, and that's what this vlog's going to be. We're going somewhere new. So I'm flying to Tunisia for 5 days. That is North Africa. I've never been to Tunisia. I've never even been towards North Africa. It's all inclusive, so it's with TUI. My flight's with EasyJet. It is currently Friday the 11th of April, but I'm flying tomorrow morning. But it's fair to say I'm not packed yet. Yeah, a little bit nervous. I say a little bit nervous, very nervous. But we've got some errands to run today, which I'm hoping is going to calm my nerves about the flight. When you are flying from Tunisia, so on my way back, they don't actually allow you into the airport unless you have your documents, your proof of your flight printed. So we're going to go to like a local post office and we're going to get my flight documents printed. I've got like 3 different versions. I'm going to print all of them. So, I want to be safe. I'm on my own, traveling on my own to somewhere I've not been. Yeah.
6 hours later.
You can probably hear the clattering and stuff behind me and around me, but I am in Wetherspoons in Gatwick. Security was easy. Checking my bag in was easy. I got through within 10 minutes, which was nice. It felt a little bit too easy. And now I'm waiting for my flight to be given a gate, announced, I suppose is the word we use. It should be in the next 10 minutes. But yeah, it's going easy. Gatwick is expensive, £9 for 1 sausage, 1 piece of bacon, 1 egg and some beans and a hash brown. It was small breakfast, literally, but moved in price. Yeah, still nervous. I think I'm going to be more anxious when I get to the other side, because obviously this is a new place for me, but we live, we travel.
One hour later.
So I made it to my hotel. Flight was delayed. That's a whole thing. Tell you about that later. And I've just got to the hotel about 20 minutes ago. I get the feeling my room's not ready. They told me to go. They gave me a wristband and said go to the restaurant. It's that way, and I went in that direction, and there is like no sign of it. And they're all a bit busy trying to check people in. So I've decided to just sit. I am very hungry though. I haven't eaten since 6 o'clock this morning, and it is now 2:15 in the afternoon. So it'd be nice to get some food. If not, I could hold off till dinner. It's not the end of the world. But I mostly just want to get in my room. I want to have a shower. I want to get out of these clothes. With that being said, it's not that warm. Like, I'm a comfortable temperature in like my lycra leggings and hoodie. Slightly concerned about putting on holiday clothes, but here we are. First impression of the hotel, it's okay. It's very detailed. Staff seem mostly friendly. Like I said, I have one who was like super attentive, like this is what you need to do, and then the next one was just like, go over there. So we'll see. Yeah. They did give me a welcome drink though, which I think is just like watermelon juice. It's quite nice. Simple but sweet. Welcome to my humble abode. Sorry if like the audio quality is slightly off on this. I bought, as you can probably see, a microphone that attaches to my camera just to try and get like a clearer sound out of my phone, or like a more consistent sound. And I just listened to the few clips back and they sound a little bit echoey. So I think I need to fiddle with the settings, but that's not a now problem, but I am apologising. I'm actively speaking quieter. I wonder if maybe I'm just too loud to have a microphone this close. Let me show you the room and then I'll talk you through the experience so far. Door. So, swim me around as if you are the person entering. On your right is a brand new bathroom. The guy who wheeled up my suitcases definitely was waiting for a tip, but I have no cash because I'm so unprepared. He let me know this was new. There's some slippers, toilet, bidet, artwork, me in my scruffy finest. Already got stuff down me, and I didn't even have my hoodie undone. I don't know how I've done it. I didn't even have my hoodie undone. One of the naffest hair dryers in the world, but you know, you get them in every hotel. Any hooks on the doors? Yeah, there's one hook. This feels nice. It's echoey in here though, very echoey. But I'm looking forward to getting in that shower in approximately 20 minutes time. Then coming back out on the left, full length mirror. You're going to find out they love a mirror in this hotel, which is actually quite a nice size. And then the bedroom, which, you know, they set me up with some petals. So it's very romantic. Stay for one. I am the one. Yeah, it's nice. It's modern. It's sleek. It definitely feels like it's been done recently. It feels clean. I've already opened up the wardrobes and seen that there is a safe. She made it clear to me in reception this is for free, so I can use that. Not going to cost me anything. Yeah, we've got drawers. Drawers aplenty. No! And laundry and dry cleaning. Not that I'll use it. But yeah, I'm probably only going to use this rack here. I don't think I'm going to actually use the actual wardrobe because I don't have that many clothes. Telephone, dial 9 if you want reception. She's given me this, which apparently will tell me everything I need to know about the hotel. Teas and coffees, even like a little cafetiere. No, that's the glass one. Coffee machine. I don't do coffee. Lamp, chair, glass table. Oh, that was my shoe. The only thing that kind of concerns me is I left my pocket mirror in Daniel's bag. And I didn't pack my handheld one, and I have to have a mirror that's quite close to do my makeup because I can't see without my glasses on. And it's occurred to me I don't have a mirror. And the closest one I'm going to have is this full standing one with really bad light, or the one in the bathroom. So I'm thinking I'm going to pull that chair or the balcony chair into here and sit at the sink. Because I'm lazy and I'm on holiday. And then there's the balcony with this very glorious view. Yeah. So I'm going to see if I can zoom in. I believe that is where the evening entertainment happens. So as you could probably tell from the few videos I've taken, it's not exactly sunny. And it's also not exactly warm either, but my version of warm and everybody else's is apparently very different. Yeah. My version of warm is like a solid 29 to 30 degrees. At the moment it's 22. But it's got quite a breeze, it's quite cloudy. According to their weather board they have up in the main lobby, it's meant to get hotter this week, but according to Sky Weather, it's actually meant to rain this week. So there's a very high chance that I have blundered this, but we'll see what happens. Looking out over at who's got sunbeds and stuff, because you know, we're Brits abroad, we have to do it. All of the sort of fancy sunbeds that are like in the pool area are taken, which I kind of expected. And it seems to be all the ones on the outside areas are also taken. So I'm starting to think there might be a scavenger hunt for sun loungers come tomorrow. I'm obviously not going to go find one now. I'm thinking of getting showered up and just putting my nice clothes on. Yeah, so I think that might be a bit of a worry, although I would obviously love to sit on one of those poking into the pool sunbeds, and that is the dream I've had in my head for the past week and a half. I'm being realistic. I'm a solo traveller. I am not a priority person down there.
A few moments later.
So I am holding the mic a little bit lower down because I do think it's either the quality of the mic, although it wasn't cheap, or it's me being too loud. But anyway, so yeah, so far Tunisia hasn't impressed me that much. I was reading on the coach for the first half because we had to go to 2 different parts of the island, and I was the second part. I'm the very last stop on the TUI coach. Airport was fine, straightforward, quiet, which is what I really appreciate. My suitcase was the first one out, so take the wins, take the wins. So while I was walking to my gate, I've given my passport, given my boarding pass. She said, go line up. I've gone and lined up because they're going to get straight on the plane. There's no waiting for us at Delight. The family who are in front of me, again, I had my earpods in. I wasn't paying much attention. And I was scrolling on my phone. And something made me look up, and I suddenly realised there were like 8 border control police officers right in front of me. And I was like, oh, so I took my headphones out and was like, sorry. And he shushed me, and I was like, okay. And he was checking the family passports. So I got mine out thinking maybe this is just like an additional check they're doing because we're going to Tunisia, or maybe someone's reported something. Like, I'm just trying to be a abiding citizen. So I've got my passport out, and as I've looked up, this guy has looked at the man who's literally next to me and said, sir, you're under arrest. I put my earpods back into my ear like I wasn't listening, but I definitely didn't have my music on. I shouldn't. I don't advocate my behaviour. Do not copy my behaviour. It's not good. It's bad. Bad behaviour. Don't do it. But on the other hand, I did get some piping hot tea. So it turns out I didn't find out what for, but he was meant to have been to court twice in like the last month, and he hasn't turned up. And so when they scanned his passport through to go on the plane, it flagged on their system because it's all connected. And so border control arrived within minutes of him walking through. Like, we'd literally just got there. And they just said to him that because you've avoided court twice, you can't leave the country. It looks like you're trying to flee. And he's like, I'm just going on holiday. And they're like, yeah, but you've skipped court twice. And so they handcuffed him. And they took his passport, and his family were like, what do we do? And they were like, get on the plane. You're not our problem. So his family did. It was very quiet. They didn't kick up a fuss. So you kind of got the vibe this was not the first time this had happened for them. Yeah, he was escorted off. And I thought that'd be the end of the juicy tea. And I text Daniel about it because I was like, I need to tell someone. And now, obviously, the internet. And then I got on the plane, got my seat, got settled, noticed something, took my AirPod out. And it was the family were having a conversation with the air hostess, and I was a bit further back than them, so I couldn't fully hear what was being said, but their voices were raised. Anyway, the air hostess I think she was like the lead air hostess, was coming down the aisles, and she was asking people, are you on your own? And pretty much the entire plane was couples or families. And I, being the kind citizen, because we do one good deed a day, our daily good deed, the daily deed, diddly. So I said, I'm on my own, I don't mind moving. Now I had, when I say the perfect seat, it was beautiful. It was just behind the wing, like just at the back of the wing. And I could see the whole wing. I like a wing seat, and I had the window seat. So me being willing to give that up, you better appreciate. Anyway, the family who wanted to sit together were really appreciative. Turns out one of the children was autistic, and they were going to get split up from their parents. So I was like, oh, 100% take my seat. Fellow autism here, take my seat. And I stood there, she went, right, we've got a problem. The seat that's empty, the family who are either side of it, refusing to give it up, so just give us a minute. So I was then stood in the aisle looking like a ripe plum or a lemon, depending on if you're my old students. And that was for the next 20 minutes. Our plane left late because they refused to give this seat that was empty. And they had the child by the window, the mum in the aisle, and she was talking to her, I'm assuming her mother, so the grandmother on the other side. And they were like, we paid for this seat. My father should be in this seat. And it clicked that, oh, well, he obviously has been escorted off the plane. And she was like, there should be another seat free because this should be his. The air hostess explained, actually, as soon as we know that someone isn't boarding the flight, we have people waiting in the airport on reserve, and your father's ticket was given as a reserve ticket to somebody else. So there are no seats free on this plane. And she was not listening. And then another air hostess came down. And when I say she gave you like matron vibes, we're talking like military, like, I was like, we're deploying the dragon. I don't like that I'm involved in this because I'm just watching, I'm waiting. I can't not because they're waiting to put me in that seat. And all I kept thinking was, please, can the mum move down? Because I don't care if I'm on the aisle, but I don't want to sit next to little kid with her and him talking over me. Please, no. Please, I beg, no. Anyway, so she comes down and basically tells the woman, if you don't get moving, you will be escorted off this flight by security and be arrested just like your dad. Suddenly, the whole family are up, all like 6 of them, and they're all shouting. And literally, the hostess is like, I've made it clear. You have to give up the seat. This is a passenger who's paid for their ticket. So they all move their seats around. I think so, like it goes son, mum, grandmother. I think it was an aunt, and then like a nephew. And then my seat. And so sat in my seat thinking this is stupidly awkward. So I am going to, instead of reading my book, I'm just going to put my headphones in, put my head back, shut my eyes, make it look like I'm asleep. I wanted to nap anyway. But that's not how this went down. So I've put my earpods in, laid back, and all of a sudden she has leant across her 2 relatives, yanked my earpods out and been like, why did you buy a reserve ticket? This is the mum. And I was like, whoa, I didn't buy a reserve ticket. I bought my ticket outright like a few weeks ago when I booked it as part of a holiday package. And she's like, then why are you in the seat? And I was like, well, I offered to swap with another family. And she's like, so that family bought a reserve ticket. I was like, I don't think they bought the reserve ticket either. And she was like, oh, this is awful. She says something like, this is awful, this is terrible. But the bit that got me afterwards, she looked at me, rolled her eyes, and went, you're in my father's seat. And then she started kicking off again at the air hostess. And I was like, what are you hoping to achieve here? He ain't getting on this plane. They have given up his seat. What more do you want? And part of me was like, if they kick this family off, I'm going to have an entire row to myself because they won't be able to resell the seats because our flying time was 10 minutes ago. Anyway, I immediately put my earpods back in, go back to sleep. Did actually fall asleep in the end. Anyway, air hostess is coming down to give out food and snacks and drinks and stuff and buy. And they did their order. I pulled my earpods out. I went, oh, excuse me. And the aunt went, she doesn't want anything. And the air hostess obviously was just in a buzz of it and just kept going. I was like, hold up, I'm not with them. I was like, you just stopped me buying my blessed pot of Pringles that I'm craving because it's a plane. Please. So I didn't eat. And I got a bit upset. But I was like, now is not the time and place to be upset. Being upset in front of them is going to give them what they want. So again, put my earpods in, shut my eyes, laid back. We got off the plane. Turns out the family who I'd given my seat to, they all got a complimentary drink to apologise because they'd accidentally been split up even though they paid to have their seats together. I got nothing. And the reason I know this is said family were on my coach and they said, hey, did you enjoy your complimentary drink? What did you get? And I went, I didn't get a complimentary drink. I got blocked from buying a drink and a pot of Pringles. And they're like, oh, we all got complimentary, like, spirit of choice and mixer. And I was like, I got nothing. And I got harassed. So, thanks, EasyJet. I will not do you any favours ever again. Hope you know that. Thanks, bestie. Got on the coach. Coach was fine. Driver was really lovely. I sat behind him and just read my book. I was probably the quietest on that coach. I think he appreciated it because it was getting chatty at the back. Anyway, he helped me get off last stop. I got here. Room wasn't ready. All they, as I mentioned, they told me, oh, go to the restaurant. But there's no signs to tell you where the restaurant is. They just assume you know because they know. So I had to ask somebody. I had to ask a guest. Say, I'm really sorry. You look like you've been here a few days. I was told to go to the restaurant. I have no idea what that is. And they were like, oh, it's literally like down, like underneath us. I was like, okay, so it's downstairs. So when food, basic, bland, like, I'll be honest, everything here feels like it's stuck in the 70s. That's how I'm going to put it. I saw the word vol-au-vent, well, tuna vol-au-vent, obviously going to avoid that, tuna. Blech. But yeah, like the way they dress, like the kind of comments, the conversations I'm overhearing so far, feels very 70s, feels a little bit backwards. Kind of expected there to be like a cultural difference. So I just didn't think it'd be transporting me back to the 70s when I wasn't born. So yeah, so first impressions are not fantastic. The flight obviously isn't a reflection of Tunisia, but I was looking out the window as we were driving up to the hotel to like see things I might be interested in. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't see anything. Normally, if like there's a little shopping mall or a market, I'd love to go to stuff like that. I love shopping, as you all know. I didn't see any of it. It just looked like apartments and other hotels, and I was like, oh well. How they advertised it online was maybe slightly different for where we are. I think if I walk in a certain direction for like 20 minutes, I can hit a big shopping mall. I don't really want to do that, so I'm not going to. But we'll see. I'm going to build up my courage to head out. But yeah, hotel seems okay. It's not my favourite one I've been to so far. But we're going to have to see how it goes. See how the next 5 days are. And I'll be honest, even if I end up sat up here on my balcony for 5 days, I know it sounds really boring, but actually it sounds quite nice.
Daniel very rudely has plans and is out with friends, so he can't take a phone call. I just think that's unacceptable. Jokes. Love him. I've been getting ready all afternoon and I've only just noticed this massive balloon on my ceiling. Like, why? Why one random balloon? What am I meant to do with that? It's weird. And just like that, 2 hours has been and gone. I've had a shower and I've got... Hold up, let's get better light. I got dressed up a little. Not a lot, actually. I'm in trousers and t-shirt, but... Compared to the fact I was in stitch top and like lycra leggings earlier, we have made an improvement. I've read through the pamphlet thing that we were given, me, was given to explain like how the hotel works, and honestly, it's all in French. Like the whole thing, they've given me, twice now they've given me documents that were French, not English, and I've had to go ask, I'm sorry, I don't speak French. Can I have an English? Is that possible? Or can you translate it for me? Instead, this time I just sat and I used Google Translator and typed bits in, and then it told me what I need to say. It doesn't mention anything about the daytime entertainment. It doesn't mention anything about the evening entertainment, or if there is any, or... yeah. So I got nothing except times of eating, which is useful, and I'm glad, and dinner starts in like 2 minutes. I'm obviously not going to go directly at 6 o'clock when I only eat at like 2:30. But yeah, just like, I don't know. It's one piece of paper and all it talks about food. I kind of wish it had a bit more of like the TUI package I'm used to, where it gives you lots of details about your hotel and where to find things and when your rep's coming, and there doesn't seem to be any of that here. So although I booked this with TUI for the TUI experience, I don't think I'm going to get it. And the reason I like booking with TUI is because there's people there for you to ask and for them to like encourage you. Anyway, let's go to dinner. See if it's better than lunch, which I hope it is. I'm not massively hungry, I'm more thirsty. I want a cocktail. We'll see. I am all inclusive, I should be able to get one of those. But before I do that, let's close the balcony door. Oh, I forgot to mention, we're 8 floors up. 8. out of 9. So my irrational fear of people sneaking in through the balcony. A little bit harder when you're on the 8th floor. Not impossible, but a little bit harder. But yeah, let's go to dinner. Doors are haunting.
And I forgot my mic, so sorry. They're playing like pop music, and I think I've just met the entertainment team because they are busting a move.
It's kind of like a little bit of vlogging inception, but this was like the only way to do what I want to talk about. So as you can tell from how quick those clips went, I'm back. Yeah, so I'm back. So it is 9:45. So I was downstairs for a while, but I'll be honest, I was quite happy chilling there, having a lemonade. I wasn't drinking tonight. I had 1 glass of wine with dinner and was like, I'm done. I'm tired. If I drink too much, I'm gonna crash and burn. And I had 3 different waiters who all probably meant this is a very lovely way. Again, in the bar where they had like the world's weirdest disco. And I've held some weird discos, but that one's pretty weird. But yeah, the 3 waiters, every time they come over and was like, can we get you something? Because I'm on my own, I can't just go up to the bar because then I lose my table. And I'm Sheldon, that's my spot now, that's my table. I've got a good table as well for like viewing stuff. So I can't just walk up to the bar. So they had people roaming to whenever. And I was like, same again. They were like, what are you having? I was like, lemonade. And I knew I'd get this a little bit, but every single person I've spoken to since arriving has been so surprised I'm on my own. And I knew that there was going to be a bit of that. I'm not an idiot. I'm not coming here like, oh, I didn't think. No, I knew that there'd be some people who had. You go, wait, you're on your own? Why are you on your own? But the last waiter, and he didn't mean it in a bad way, but like, he kind of put me off being downstairs. So I've come upstairs, and I used to very much be like, no, this is my space, I will stay in. No, if someone makes you feel uncomfortable, move. Why sit there and continue to be uncomfortable? No, they shouldn't have made you uncomfortable. That's a different conversation. But yeah, so every waiter's been like, so went for dinner. The exact same guy who served me at lunch was like, hello, on your own? I was like, yes, same as at lunch. And he was like, would you like something to drink? And I was like, what are my options? He was like, wine, beer, water. I was like, okay, I'll have a wine. He then brought me an entire bottle with no lid. And I was like, I'm not gonna drink a whole bottle of wine while I sit here and eat a bit of dry grilled chicken. Yeah, the food, it was better. Desserts had labels. But anyway, yeah, so that kind of was like, okay, they are really not used to having people. And when I say people, let's be honest, I don't look 30. I mean, I think I look 30, but some people are like, you don't look 30. And either they're being really nice or I genuinely don't. But I get mistaken for not being 30 so often that after a while you start to believe you don't look 30. You know, I'm 31, and I think they see young girl sat on her own in a bar with a lemonade and a book, or watching people getting up and dancing, and it's kind of like, oh, woe is her, she's on her own. And so every bartender who's come up to me has been like, hey, can I get you a drink? And I'm like, lemonade please. They're like, are you on your own? I was like, yeah, and I've got my book, I'm fine. The last way to, okay, admittedly, I was looking up, watching the dance, and they had just done the Macarena. And I was thinking back to my days when I used to do it with the girls. We used to do a different version of the Macarena. They know what I'm on about. And so does most of the people who attended my wedding now, because we may have danced it at my wedding. Anyway, I digress again. But anyone who knows me as well, I can't hear anything when there's any noise nearby. If you're trying to talk to me but there's noise around me, I can't hear you. Now, I don't have an auditory processing disorder, but I'm starting to think maybe I do. Because it's bad. Like, if we sit at a table for lunch and there's like 5 of us, I will only be able to hear the person next to me. If you're across from me, I'm constantly guessing what you're saying. But I'm by a loud, busy bar. There is a very loud disco going on that I'm sat right in front of. So I couldn't hear him, so I said, I'm sorry, I can't hear you, and he repeated something again, and then he repeated it again, and eventually went, ma'am, are you okay? You're on your own. And I was like, I'm fine. And he was like, but you're sad. And I was like, I'm not sad. And then he came over and gave me my drink, and I went to pick up my book, and he then told me I have to find some friends or a man. So I was like, okay, thank you. And then as he got up and turned, he walked away. I made sure he deliberately saw me pick up my stuff and leave. Okay, yeah, maybe I do need to make some friends. Maybe. I'm outgoing, but I'm not very good at making friends. I struggle with that initial jump. Once you get me talking, I don't stop. But you know. So yeah, just having so many people question why I've been on my own all day, it's starting to get to me. And you know, I've been awake since 3 a.m. and it's now nearly 10 p.m. There's no time difference between Tunisia and the UK. I don't know how it works. I did not look it up. All I know is there is no time difference, which is a dream. No mathematics for me when trying to call my husband. But yeah, I had one moment on my own, really. I mean, I joked with the petals and stuff on the bed, but really I'm like, you just do that to make it look nice. The only moment I did have where I kind of missed down was they had quite a lot of people up doing slow dances. And I was like, you know what, he's not a big fan of dance, but he will get up and do a slow dance with me. Like, he has been known to do that because he knows I love dance. I love being up. Like, on our wedding day, like, he put in a lot of effort to be up on the dance floor, not just hiding in the corner. He had a great time. But yeah, I had this one moment where I was like, oh, if he was here, he'd be asking if I wanted to go out for a dance, and I'd be all coy and say, no, I don't, because I feel uncomfortable because it's the first day. And then he'd kind of encourage me to, and then we'd have a great time. Oh, he's not dead, he's literally in London. I'm seeing him in 4 days. But yeah, that made me miss Dan. And you know, there's a couple of groups here that are girls, either on like hen dos or paired up as friends. And obviously, I would love to have come with a friend. but I also want to push myself out my comfort zone, and I certainly have. But yeah, it's not been... Oh, I didn't take my lipstick off. It hasn't been the greatest start. I am starting to get the vibe of the hotel though, so... They're right, this new... Some people NYX, some people MIX. They do this new like glossy lip stain. Me and lip stains have never been friends, but I always love the idea of them. And this one's actually worked. It's a little bit more like a blushy red colour than I thought it was going to be, but it's kind of making me tempted to try the dark purple. And I know I've just tangented really bad there, but yeah, but no. So I'm gonna get ready for bed, and I'm going to read a few more chapters of my book. I am reading, and it occurred to me this is probably not the best choice. I'm reading Adam Hatton's book, Hiding Him. At the moment, I am over halfway through. I only started it like 2 days ago, and I'm gripped. I love the story. It's about sixth formers. I will do a review on it when I'm back in London. But it occurred to me, like, the front cover kind of tells you it's going to be about a gay couple. And I'm in a country that are not, are quite liberal, but there's still some not LGBTQIA positive attitudes. And I was like, I'm sat in the bar with this. And what's my next book? My next book is a Disney book that I've been meaning to read for 5 years. So that might do me better. But yeah, we're going to bed now. Night night.
Till the very next day. Bum, 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 bum.
Good morning, everyone. How these lights work. There we go. Figure out exactly if people do put their sun loungers out early, if you have to kind of claim them for yourself. By the looks of things, you don't have to, which is lovely. Oh, but it is only 20:07 and I'm tired. It is overcast and grey, so I'm going to take another hour in bed, I think, and then go to breakfast and then come back and get ready. It was kind of the plan. But yeah, day 2 has begun. So it's now nearly 9 AM. I got ready and there's basically no one by the pool, and it's really cold and grey. I flew all this way to have worse weather than I had in my own front yard. Front garden, apologies. It's very American of me. Yeah, so I'm going to stroll down to breakfast, and then I think I might try and pop down to the spa and see if I can book in a massage in a couple of days. Oh my god, there's a bug. Oh, there's a bug. Nope, we don't do that. Goodbye. Oh, that's a bug I don't recognise. It looks like a wasp if a wasp didn't have wings and was a beetle. Nope. Where was I? Yeah, so I'm going to try and pop down to the spa. They have a hot tub that's free for use, so if it comes to it, I'm going to sit in the hot tub for a while. But yeah, it's cold. According to the weather app, it's 18 degrees, and I can confirm that is not... It's not correct. It also reckons it's sunny. That's not... If that's their sunny, I'm cooked. So yeah, we're going to go to the spa, see if I can get in the hot tub for a bit after I've had some breakfast. And then maybe in the afternoon when it's meant to get warmer up to like highs of 22, I think is the warmest it's meant to be today. We'll see what happens. But at the moment, I've got a feeling I'll spend a lot this holiday in my hoodie. Out of the 5 days I'm here, it's only on the app saying that we're going to have 1 day of sun. So obviously that's the day I'm going to prioritise being outside. And there's also meant to be a day that's like all thunderstorms. So I've already finished my first book of 3. So there's that. I'm running out of things to do already. First and foremost, I do not wish to be disturbed. So pop that there. Take your key card or you can't get back in. Right. Yeah, it didn't scream at me this time. So it's nearly 3 o'clock. I got myself a little spot down by the pool. I'll be honest, I was freezing. So I ended up, instead of laying on my towel, which is a lot more comfortable for me, I ended up putting it over me like a duvet, curling up literally with it over my face, which Daniel will tell you I don't like doing. I don't like having things over my face, like duvets or anything like that. But I needed to, and it kind of made it feel like it was warmer. So I fell asleep. So I've just had food, same as it was yesterday. So not exactly my vibe. A lot of fish. Now I'm thinking instead of sitting back on a sun lounger, I'm just going to go sit by the pool bar, get a drink and read my book with the towel around my arms and see if I can do another hour or 2 before going upstairs and getting warm, because it says it's 22 degrees but it's so cloudy you can't feel the heat, so it's cold, super cold.
Several hours later.
So I've been having a little jam party to myself with my tunes and my music, and yeah, this may play in my favour, but I'm going much later to dinner than I planned. I was going to go for when it opened at 6, because you know that's usually when it's the quietest, but it's now like 7:10. So we'll see. I did spend a lot of time yesterday just sat in the lobby waiting for something to happen, so I'm kind of hoping going to dinner later, eating later, means I'm not going to sit there feeling like a lemon for as long. Yeah. Didn't do this yesterday because I didn't think about it, but here's the outfit for the night. It's a dress from Sainsbury's that I've owned for over a year, that I bought in my old job, with Tivas because they are comfy. Uniqlo bag because it's pretty much the only bag I use at this point. Book ready to go. Before I do head down though, after I said I was going to come back to the room for a bit, I actually got talking to one of the animation team, like the entertainment team. I'd seen him talking to a bunch of girls earlier in the day, and you know, gonna be honest, young, attractive man, part of an entertainment team, talking to a group of girls. Yeah, we know why he was over there, really. But he spoke to me today, so that was a surprise. And he was like, "Oh, you're the woman who sat there last night in the middle of the disco reading her book." And I was like, when you word it like that, that makes me sound like an absolute lunatic. And he was like, "No, I rate it." And I was like, good. And he was like, why did you leave? Did it get too noisy? I went, something like that. And he was like, "Can I see you tonight? You're gonna get up and dance?" I was like, "I'll be there, but I'm not gonna dance. I'm on my own, of course I'm not gonna." Dude, I don't know you. You ain't my husband. Nah. But yeah, taking book. I finished Adam Hatton's, as I think I've mentioned, so now I'm on Remember Who You Are by Beth Cooper. I got this years ago at my first magical market. I met her, she signed it and everything, and it's taken me till now to read it. So sorry, Beth Cooper. But so far, loving it. Like, absolutely loving it. I can't put it down. So that's a good sign. But yeah, let's get to dinner, because I'm getting a little bit peckish.
At some point, my nail has broken and I'm so sad. I don't have any nail glue or anything to fix it.
I actually pushed myself and I joined in with a conga. I draw the line
actually quite pretty at night. So I've come back to my room. I feel like every time you see me, I'm in this blooming room. Sorry. This may not be the most exciting vlog. I need to stop playing with the wrapper that's in my pocket. I got up and danced today. They did a little conga. They play, like I said in this vlog, they play a lot of songs that I love, and they're the entertainment songs we used to do when I was a children's entertainer. And so normally I'd be the first one up there being like, yeah, let's do this, but it's harder when you're on your own. Like, a lot harder. Because who am I gassing myself up for? Except me. And honestly, I'm gassed to sit and read my book, so... One of the reps is like really trying to like make conversation with me every time he sees me, which is really lovely, but it is always about, oh, you're reading again. And he did ask me today, like, you can read over all this music and still acknowledge the music. I went, yeah, I've actively been singing along to some of the songs. So apparently I can do that. Didn't think I could do that, but needs must. And I'm not feeling too well, which is why I've come back. I mean, it's not early, it's nearly 11. I wanted to stay up until they finished at like midnight tonight, because I actually heard them like shutting down yesterday because I was still reading my book. But yeah, my stomach's not feeling so great. I don't know if it's something I've eaten or something I've drunk, or if it's just me with anxiety, could be that. But yeah, my stomach's not feeling fantastic, and it's feeling not bloated, but yeah, it's sort of half bloated. So gonna get an early night. I might read 1 or 2 more chapters of my book, although Dan and me had a phone call and he did tell me to slow down a bit, because I have 1 book after this, and there's books you can borrow. So also, may have mentioned, I can't remember, yesterday when I ordered when I went to the buffet, they asked me what drink I wanted, and I got a glass of wine, and they just dropped the whole bottle at my table. They do that with fizzy drinks too. Just comparison. Yeah. Which has kind of come in handy. So I've now got that in the room, so that might actually end up being my my little tip if anyone ever comes to stay here. Yeah, now I have a drink for in the room, which is good. So if my stomach does get bad, I can take some medication, because you cannot drink the water in Tunisia. That was made abundantly clear to us on the coach ride to the hotel. I mean, I already knew that. I feel like it's just a known rule at this point, but yeah. Yes, then they assured us that all the ice in our drinks is used by bottled waters, and the hotels will follow this rule. And I was like, yeah, but do they? Oh yeah, my red balloon is still there. Oh, what, the song 99 Red Balloons. I've got the one. I've got the missing one. I don't know why it's there. I've got a theory that they misread my booking, because they normally, with these places, they check you in as soon as you get there. But they actively like, go get your food, your room will be ready shortly. And I was like, okay, you know what time I'm getting here, so you know my room should be ready. But obviously there's rose petals over the bed, and the balloon on the ceiling. Now, as I've been going around the resort and observing, they've been setting tables up for birthdays and like specific romantic dinners that people have requested. And they use those red balloons as like a welcome to a couple who are here on honeymoon. And I was like, oh, I'm wondering if they had my room set up like it was a romantic thing, and then I turned up as a one person, and they were like, oh, she is one person. And if they came and took it down, and they've left a scattering of petals and one balloon. What should we name our balloon? What do we think? Boris? Boris the balloon? It's got to begin with B. Are you a Boris? No. Are you a... Belinda? Belinda the balloon? You decide in the comments, is the balloon Boris or Belinda? I think I'm leaning towards Belinda, but you get to decide. But yeah, night guys, ready for round 3. Tomorrow I'm probably not gonna go to breakfast. I'm actually thinking of sleeping in. The breakfast was naff. It wasn't even like a proper like cooked fry up breakfast that you would sorry, that you'd normally expect. It was hams, cheese, omelettes, croissants, so very, very continental. But there was no fry up bits, which I thought was a bit, not even like a chicken sausage. Because I know it's a Muslim country, so I know they won't eat pork. Yeah. So breakfast is not my favourite. Crepes are nice, so I'll probably go for a crepe. But yeah, tomorrow I'm going to take it a lot slower and not get up as early, because what's the point? It's not even going to be sunny.
Till the very next day, bum 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 bum.
So it's actually quite warm today, but I was still cold. It's absolutely belting it down with rain. And I'm still on my sun lounger. I refuse to move.
Six hours later.
Till the very next day, bum 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 bum.
It's now day 4, but look, we have actual sunshine. I should probably have my sunglasses on. We've got actual sunshine. I'm very late. I've missed breakfast. It's like 11 AM. I didn't go to bed till like 2. Stayed up doing karaoke and having fun. And got chatting to someone, which was nice. But yeah, I'm now refreshed, heading down to the pool. I might even, shocker, get in the pool today. I'm a water baby, I live in the water normally. But being on my own, it being cloudy, I've not wanted to. So we'll see how it goes. It's not exactly warm. It's 21 degrees, which some people is very warm. For me, that's sort of 9 degrees too cold. So yeah, we'll see what spot I get and see how I feel as the day goes on. I'll let my sun lotion sink in a bit more before I do that. But yeah, let's go. So, ready for my second to last night. The camera's not picking it up, but I picked up a little bit of a tan today, like the tiniest amount. Tomorrow's meant to be thunderstorms the whole day, so probably going to be indoors most of my last day. But yeah, same as every night I've been here. Going to go down, going to see whatever entertainment they've got going on. I've got my book, got my cards, and that's that really. I'm aware this has not been the most entertaining vlog. It's mostly me talking to you in this room. My bad. I've not had the, I will be honest, I've not had the confidence as this is my first trip going out and doing stuff on my own. Yeah. Is what it is. I've got into a nice little routine. It feels a bit odd because that routine's obviously going to come to an end tomorrow. But yeah, I've already started packing. But that's that really. Right, let's go get some food. Second meal of the day because I missed breakfast. So I'm hungry. Good morning, wonderful world. It is day 5. It is the last full day, and So when I arrived, I asked down at the massage place, do we just come the day of booking? The woman said yes. And I wanted to do it today. There's meant to be thunderstorms in the afternoon. Just went down there, fully booked. When I asked when the next appointment is, she was like, this time next week. We're fully booked for a whole week. So, great. It's fun. I can save the money I would have spent on a massage and get one in London, closer to my house, when it's miserable and rainy. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do this afternoon. Probably hide. But same as always, heading back to the pool. These clouds, although annoying, they do look pretty majestic. It's given Hercules. And they're moving quite quickly, which is nice. Well, it looks like I came in at the right time. That is some heavy rainfall. Damn. So we're at that point where you can hear the thunder, but you can't see the lightning. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to go back out there today now. Ooh, damn. Oh my god. If the weather's like this tomorrow, I'm gonna have trouble flying home. Hello again, everyone. The rain has calmed. My balcony is soaking wet. It's still very cloudy out. It's very dusky. It's nice. It lasted longer than I thought it would. I thought it would be like the rain during monsoon season in India. I was hoping it was going to be like a downpour for like 5-10 minutes and then it was done. But alas, no. It went on for about an hour and a half, and it didn't let up. It just got heavier and then abruptly stopped. So, wild weather. Brits aboard chat, woo! I'm mostly going to come on and do like a quick review of how I found my stay. The hotel itself, very comfortable. The staff, very pleasant, very willing to help. But it is definitely shocked them that I'm on my own. Because it didn't stop after day one. It was consistent. Every staff member I spoke to, even if I spoke to them before, it was like they were begging to ask a question of, why are you here on your own? But it was only today that one of them went, how old are you? And I was like, 31. They were like, oh, like you're a grown up. I was like, yes. How did you think I was? And they're like, oh, we assumed you were in like your early 20s. I was like, haha, you can stay, thanks. And all those cliches. But that maybe explains why people kept asking me. I know I give off a slightly younger vibe than my age. I don't, everyone says, well, you just look young. No, I think it's because I act quite young. I behave, sorry, sitting on the edge of the bed is not the most comfortable. There we go. I act quite young. And I will continue to do that for the rest of my life. I have no intention of acting grown up. Obviously when I have kids, I'll be grown up to an extent because, you know, like I need to keep them alive and stuff. So yeah, the comfiness of the bed and the room and the facilities, I would give a 4. The friendliness of staff and their service, again, a 4. I think if they'd been a little less intrusive of me being on my own, I would have given a 5. So that's like a personal preference. I think if you would have come here with a family, they're very accepting. I've seen them interacting with the big families and they can't get enough of them. So if you're a family, this is a hotel for you. There's literally a whole slide in the kids' pool. Like, it's insane. The food and drink, however, is what lets this hotel down. So I want to say I'm just a picky eater, but actually if you ask a lot of people I'm friends with, that's not necessarily the case. I eat a lot of foods, a wide variety of foods, But unfortunately, oh, this is gonna make me sound like a real, but I was raised in a family where we had the best food, the highest end food. You know, we were doing M&S shop occasionally, and our local was Sainsbury's, and I grew up with big branded food, and unfortunately in my adulthood it means that I'm not picky in terms of what I eat, I'm picky on the quality of what I eat, and that is where this food is lacking. The quality of what they're given is pretty bad. I have not left a single meal here satisfied. That's just what it is. Maybe if I had an even wider variety of taste, then maybe it'd be fine. There's a lot of fried fish with the heads on, which I don't eat fish anyway, other than basically salmon at this point. As long as it's cooked, always cooked. So in that regard I'm picky. They eat a lot of fish, but everything they're doing here, because they're doing it on such a wide scale, like a bulk scale, it's a bit like a Jimmy's World buffet. Like everything there is so average because it's being made en masse, whereas actually if you went to a restaurant and ordered that, it would be a higher quality, but they're not making it for the masses, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what happens with the buffets. Food wise, I would only give it a 2. And they don't label everything all the time. There's repeats of the same foods, particularly desserts, which I am a dessert person. I got very spoiled on mine and Dan's last holiday. If you haven't seen it, go check out the August monthly vlog, my monthly roundups I did last year. Me and Dan went to a beautiful hotel in Mallorca. That was a real luxury, and it cost us to have said luxury. So this cost a lot less. Not much less, actually. Now I say that, not that much less per person. As a total, yes, because there's only me here. Would I come back? Yeah. I quite like the staff here and the vibe. It's calm and it's positive. I do definitely feel like this is a group's hotel or a family's hotel. Those who are riding solo or just not even couples, but like there's a few sets here of like friends. Like there's 2 girls and there's a group of 3 boys, and you find that they don't get interacted with as much as the big families. So it's definitely a family oriented, you know what I'm trying to say, hotel. So I would come back. I would give it overall a 3.5. Now Mallorca, that was a 5, like that 5-star beautiful hotel. So here's a 3.5. I would bring Daniel. I 100% would. I feel like I couldn't bring him in like August when it gets super hot, up to 40 degrees here, according to the staff. I googled it and it doesn't say that, but according to the staff, it's 40 degrees. I think maybe early July, like as soon as half-term breaks, we could do it. But yeah, I would come back. I didn't explore any of Tunisia, so this is an absolute cop-out vlog. So if you are at this point, thank you, but I'm also sorry. I wanted to establish the vibe with the people in the hotel first before deciding if I was going to head out, and although, like I said, they've been very friendly, I haven't always felt entirely safe, particularly leaving my belongings like by the sunbed or at my dinner table when I go to get my food. And if I don't leave my stuff at the table gets given to somebody else. So yeah, the other guests around the hotel as well who are from the country. There's a lot of guests here who are from Tunisia who come here for like a break or to come to these facilities. I tried to make myself a bit more conservative. You know, I am a white girl, blonde hair, blue eyes and tattoos and piercings, so I knew there was only so much I could do. but I definitely got some looks that made me feel uncomfortable. So yeah, I didn't go explore them. So I probably will come back to do that, but I would want to do that with Daniel. So yeah, that's what I think so far. I've got my last evening to go, my last meal. I got a notification on the TUI app yesterday to tell me that my coach is picking me up at 7:25, but I need to be at the coach 15 minutes early, which would be 7:05. So I'm aiming to check out before 7. I will be there early. I also didn't meet my TUI rep at any point on this trip. They only come for like 40 minutes. And I walked past them talking to someone. I very much got the vibe. It was like what me and Daniel had at the other hotel. They've stopped doing like these big presentations on the big screens, or at least they do at these sort of smaller hotels, like they did when I was a kid. But they were in a very intense conversation, and it didn't look very positive. And I was like, I'm not going to interrupt now. But it occurred to me, I was like, it'd be a waste of time me going. Really, I don't feel comfortable going anywhere. I don't want to do an excursion and get lost. I'd be screwed, like genuinely screwed. Yeah. So that's how I feel so far. We'll see how the flight goes tomorrow. That may change my opinion, because I haven't done their airport yet. When we exited their airport, which obviously I couldn't film because it was mostly just going through security, it was small and quick. And I'm going to be stuck in the airport for 3 hours tomorrow. And it doesn't look like it's big. So, depending on the airport facilities may change that opinion, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm hoping tonight's entertainment is a bit better than yesterday's. The entertainment has been... First night I was kind of like, what is this? This feels worse than when we were in Mallorca, and the entertainment in Mallorca was questionable. And then as the days have gone on, I've started to get the vibe of how it works, and actually I've really enjoyed the entertainment other than yesterday. Yesterday they had someone come in and they were playing guitar and singing songs, and I've never seen it clear out so quick in my life. As soon as they went, that's it for the games, like we've got this guy coming and playing guitar, literally like the 4 big families, like the big families, there was like 20 of them, all got up and left. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'll be honest, he wasn't that good. Oh, there goes some more thunder. Yeah, he wasn't that good. They wanted to try and get people up dancing to his songs, and they asked me, and I was like, categorically, no. So I sat playing cards and having a drink with myself. But yeah, the night before the karaoke was a bit more interactive, and because it's the guests getting involved, everyone sort of stuck around to listen and watch. There was a guy who I walked past yesterday after I did the karaoke. I'd seen him earlier in the day, and he always has a bottle of Coke and his big black headphones on. But this was one time I was seeing like his headphones on, and I've not spoke to the guy. He's older, he's probably about my dad's age, I think. And I walked past him and went, sorry to interrupt you, love. And I was like, what? He went, You Sing Valerie was really, really good, by the way. Like, I've heard quite a few versions, and that was one of the best. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I used to do this for a living, and I haven't done it for many years. And I get quite nervous. And he was like, you shouldn't be, you've got a really good voice. And I was like, that's a little boost I needed. And then yesterday's entertainment, where it was very like not interactive, I sort of retreated again. So it does feel like just I was getting my confidence to get involved. One of the main families that I hear, when I say they're big, look, when I say there's like 20 of them, I mean it. There is definitely a lot of them. I've not spoken to any of them, but the main dad who gets involved in everything come up to my table yesterday. They're about to do a conga and went, no, put your cards down, and just like grabbed me by the hand and just pulled me out my chair. And he didn't do it to anyone else. So I feel like he may have taken pity on me and realised I'm on my own. I also think I've just been bitten as we're sat here because my ankle's getting itchy. And it's annoying because I put on anti-bite spray, like the really expensive high-end stuff I wore when I lived in India so I didn't get malaria. And I've still been bitten. But yeah, time to go to dinner. Last one. Repeating outfit from day one again. I only brought 3 outfits with me. I didn't see the point in packing much. So I basically did outfit 1, orange dress 2, black dress 3. Then went back to the orange dress 2, back to this one 1. So I've kind of gone in a pattern. This is not my favourite combo I've come up with. In my mind, this was going to look a lot better than it did. Hold on, where's my denim jacket? So in my mind, this was going to eat, and it was because it's got like the cream on the top and the cream on the bottom. It would blend. It's not a vibe, but it's what I've got. I've realised, obviously coming to Tunisia, I toned down some of the clothes that I wear. So I didn't bring like my dungarees, I changed out my cross earrings, stuff like that. This is with a denim jacket. That feels very cold on my arms. Oh, do I pack it and just stick my hoodie on? No, I'll wear the denim jacket. Yeah, so I toned down what I've been getting into clothing-wise recently for while I'm here. I've always liked dressing a little bit alternative, but I always have that niggling voice in the back of my head that tells me I look ridiculous. And I like to call that voice my mother, because that's what my mother would say. So I definitely went back on my word and I dressed a bit more conservative for this holiday. I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds like an ominous choir. Anyway. Yeah, and it has confirmed to me that I do just prefer dressing more me. I like the colour black and wearing only black, so yeah. Anyway, I've waffled on. Let's go to dinner. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm trying to decide if that's a motorbike or the wind or if it's some kind of choir. I think that is music. Well, let's go find out.
Tonight's entertainment is drag, and it is honestly some of the worst drag I have ever seen, and I've seen some pretty bad drag.
Till the very next day, bum 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 bum.
One last look. This absolutely beautiful view. Yeah, it's 6:30. My coach is picking me up in just under an hour. Picks me up at 7:25, but they want us there 15 minutes early. I've already explained this. And I'm ready to go. I'm finished and packed and staring at a coach of arrivals or leaving? Leaving. I hope that's not my coach. Let me check I've read it right. I've double checked the app, definitely not my coach. Thank God, because I was like, that's early. Nope, still says 7:25 on the app, so that's what we're following. Ooh. But yeah, I've got one thing left, 2 things left to pack. One's a bottle of Fanta to go in my bag to drink on the way. My stuffed toy, because I always bring one. And my jungle formula plug-in that was for mosquitoes. When you unplug it, it's like raging hot. So I've just left it to cool down. What's probably the most annoying about travelling back today is they are now meant to have the most glorious weather for the next week. I'm still off work for a week. So I could be in this, but instead I'm going back to grey, miserable London. And I picked the week to be here when it was grey and miserable. So, sod's law is what it is. Yeah, it was only this morning when I got up that I realised I think I have a fan in the room. Not that I've needed it. It's not been warm enough in here to need it. But yeah. Is what it is. So I think I'm going to go toilet, pack the last of my stuff, and head down because it's already like 1:45. And like I said, I want to be down there by 7. So better get cracking. Slightly sad to be leaving. I feel like I didn't get long enough here. Definitely want to come back with Daniel. Show him around. Actually see the town of Sousse.
One eternity later.
I'm home. I've been home over a week. There's been some changes, as you can see. I'm no longer blonde. And it occurred to me that I never, when I got back, actually updated how the flight went or anything like that, or if my thoughts or opinions had changed. So this is just a quick roundup because this vlog is already long enough. The flight was fine. That's the short version. There was less dramatics. The airport, I didn't film while I was in there. I just didn't feel comfortable. Solo traveller in a very, very small airport. Cannot stress how small that airport is. Whew. Yeah, getting in was fine. Ended up not needing my printed copies, but I would still recommend taking them. I think because we came as part of a coach group. When we entered, no one checked because they knew we were coming from like a package holiday thing. But yeah, check-in was really easy. There was a couple of little shops that do, you know, the traditional like, my dad would call it toot. Yeah, there was you know, bracelets, fake designer bags, magnets, etc. Which I got as a magnet to put on our fridge, and I don't know where I've put it, and I don't think I put it on the fridge, so that'd be fun to find. And then once I went through security again, super quick. So I was a little worried about the plastic bags, because in Gatwick you no longer need the plastic bag for your hand luggage liquids, and it only occurred to me as I was packing up to come home. I was like, oh, I didn't consider it on the way back. Luckily I'd wrapped one of my serums in a plastic, like, sealable sandwich bag. So instead I wrapped that in tissue and put it in my bag and was like, if it explodes, it explodes. Let the gods choose what they will, and use that. But I didn't need it. They could not be bothered. Yeah. None of it is high tech like you'd expect in the London airports. I didn't really have an expectation on if it would be or wouldn't be. I didn't really think about it. But yeah, when I went through the other side, duty free, very small, very cheap. And I wish I knew that before I packed my bag. I was like, oh, I could spend in here and get a lot for my money. Got Dan a replacement of one of his aftershaves. It's actually the aftershave I bought him, I think, like our first Christmas together. It kind of became his scent for a while, so I always rebuy it. I don't even know if he actually likes it that much. I think he does, he wears it. But yeah, and I got my friend a present as well, because it's her birthday coming up. And yeah, eating wise in that airport, very minimal. The food court was completely closed that time in the morning. There was one little cafe and it only served like not sandwiches, but like the panini bread sandwiches, but not toasted. They did that and like basic coffee, and that was it. There was very, very little options, and the cost of the drinks and food there was actually quite pricey compared to everything else. So yeah, eat before you go. I didn't go down to the restaurant and eat because they told me I had to be there 15 minutes early for the coach. Turns out I very much didn't. I could have turned up 2 minutes before and still have been early, because it didn't arrive on time. And it was a proper rickety little coach. When I say coach, it fit maybe 12 people, and it had one of those weird like pulling in doors to let you off. But yeah, it was an experience. It was an experience. But yeah, obviously I've been back a while. Do I regret going? No. Do I regret only going for 5 days? Absolutely. I wish I had gone with someone, and I wish I'd gone for longer. But I now know that. I now know that the whole all-inclusive thing is great on my own if I'm going somewhere I've been before. So if I was to go back to Mallorca and do it, fine. I went to Mallorca as a kid every year from the age of 4 to like 10. So it wouldn't bother me in the slightest to miss out on seeing a little bit of the outside. So going somewhere new on my own, although I'm glad I took the challenge, I do feel like I would have appreciated it a lot more if I had gone with Daniel. That being said, I was hoping he would be here for this bit, but he's currently travelling back from Newcastle. He has agreed that we can go back to Disneyland Paris. We've got a week, we've got dates, it's going to be in October, it's going to be for Halloween, and so there's definitely going to be another travel vlog coming up. We've also got a week together in August where we're thinking of booking an all-inclusive, like super last minute, so we've got that as well. And depending on finance, I may see if I can take myself away in the 6 weeks holiday somewhere also. But yeah, so make sure you like and subscribe. There will be more travel vlogs, more reviews of places I'm going. Yeah, thanks for watching all like an hour and 20 minutes of this, so thanks, bye.